your host, Nick Toka. Just in, Donald Trump clarifies start date for tariffs on Mexico, Canada, and Europe. Is this going to swing Bitcoin to 80K? Later on today's show, Texas Bitcoin Reserve Bill advances to Senate after committee approval. Also on today's show, Cryptoquant CEO explains why the Bitcoin bull run is not over. All this and so much more on today's show. Welcome, folks, to Crypto News Global. Today is February 27th, 2025. I'm your host, Nick Toka, and Bitcoin is trading a bit sideways. This would be the fourth day that there were 3 days down. Now it's kind of going sideways. Let's get right into the market watch and Bitcoin technical analysis so you can see what we're talking about. On screen here, we've got the tradingview.com live view, and let's zoom in a little bit, and we will see that we've got a current bid price of 80 grand and ask also of 80 grand. So it does look like we're going to be hitting the 80,000 threshold down really just over the past few minutes. And if we zoom out, we see this head and shoulders type chart here, bringing us to potentially back to prices November 2024, which would bring us exactly right here. So let's hope we don't go there. The price on that November 2024, we're talking about 77,000. But currently we do have the bid and the ask are now into the 70s, which I haven't seen for a very long time, folks. Let's get right into our crypto bubbles, and we see every single thing in the red today. Pi down 22%, which was skyrocketing for some time, and now she's down 22%, Hex down 18%, Ray 13%, Virtual 13%, IP 14%, Tau 13%. Zoom out to the week, we get Pi still up 195%, but every other thing in the red. And if we zoom out to the monthly, we get 95%, I'm going to call it, in the red over the green. Just a couple things up, 40-60% here. Sonic up 40%, Maker up 46%, Ohm up 59%. Nothing to write home about. And we've got Trump coin down 60% for the month, Bonk down 45%, Move 45%, making a move to the negative. Getting into our crypto market cap, we've got Bitcoin at a market cap of $1.587 trillion as of this moment, and price exactly at 80,000 and now 79,880. Ethereum at 258 billion, XRP 118 billion, Solana 64 billion market cap, Doge 28 billion, Cardano 21 billion, Tron to wrap up the top 10. 19 billion. It's actually held better than most other currencies. Tron, it looks like. The total market cap also down, currently at $2.6 trillion. And it's not even showing us. I know that Coin360 definitely had some problems today. And the dominance, Bitcoin dominance, we can just see by percentage right now. We're looking at 60.5.7%. Ethereum 9.87%, under 10%. XRP 4.5%. BNB 3%, and the rest totaling 9% of the total crypto market share. Currently, we're at 16 extreme fear. Again, yesterday was a 10 in extreme fear, and last week was a neutral 55. We have approximately 1,140 days left until the next Bitcoin halving in 2028, with 164,347 blocks left to mine. And going into our assets by market cap globally, we've got gold still on top, 19.3 billion, Apple 3.5 billion, Nvidia 2.9 billion. Pardon me, these are trillions. Microsoft 2.9 trillion, Amazon 2.2 trillion, Google 2 trillion, silver 1.795 trillion, Saudi Aramco 1.748 trillion, Meta still above the biddy 1.667 trillion, and Bitcoin at the number 10 position now at 1.622 trillion. And you can currently get 1,245 Satoshis for one fiat US dollar. So the clock keeps on ticking here, and the US debt keeps on rising, currently at 36 trillion 534 billion, almost up 535 billion as of right now, equaling to 107,357 per taxpayer and 323,047 per that would be per taxpayer, and the 107,000 is per US citizen. So things still going down in the crypto market. We've got Bitcoin firmly at an even 80,000 and potentially still dipping, as we saw in the TradingView chart, maybe going as low as 77, 76,000 if we're going to complete the head and shoulders pattern. So again, a buy the dip opportunity. Now, what's also coming up is we've got the Trump tariff trade speculation, because he announced there's going to be tariffs, and now he's actually come out with the dates on the tariffs. And I'm just curious to see into the future, if we could, and see if the price is going to dip even more when the tariffs actually take effect. So interesting. Donald Trump confirms tariffs on Mexico, Canada, China at 10%. Europe starting April 2nd as Bitcoin drops to 85,000 amid market concerns and trade tensions. So Europe tariffs April 2nd, and Canada, Mexico March 3rd, I believe is the date. Donald Trump has confirmed the tariffs on Mexico, Canada will take effect on March 4th if drug flows into the U.S. are not reduced. He also announced an additional 10% tariff on China, while a 25% tariff on European Union remains set for April 2nd. Now, interesting, Mexico and Canada, if on March 4th, if drug flows into the United States are not reduced. So, this is primarily, after doing some reading, it's a Mexico problem. And this drug flow from Canada is largely contrived in comparison. I believe it's like less than 0.5% compared to Mexico are going through Canada. So interesting how it's bundled. Let's assume that it's Trump trying to play the art of the deal. And when March 4th actually comes, things change. Let's see how things go. The cryptocurrency market reacted negatively to the news, with Bitcoin dropping again toward 85,000 after experiencing sharp declines over the past few days. Donald Trump confirms tariff timeline on Mexico, Canada, and China. U.S. President Trump has stated that the U.S. will move forward with tariffs on imports from Mexico and Canada unless measures are taken to curb drug trafficking, especially fentanyl. He emphasized the need to address the issue, calling these substances dangerous and highly addictive poisons. He also confirmed that China will face an additional 10% tariff starting on the same date. We cannot allow this scourge to continue, Trump said, reiterating his stance on trade and national security. The reciprocal tariff on European Union set for April 2nd remains unchanged. Bitcoin faces steep decline following announcement. Following Trump's confirmation of the tariffs, Bitcoin prices experienced a decline, falling below 86,000 again. According to CoinGape, Bitcoin price dropped by 0.5% to trade at 85,697, marking the fourth consecutive day of losses. The decline comes amid broader market concerns. The analysts are warning of further corrections toward the 80,000 support before stability returns. Independent analysts such as Scott Melker have observed that while Bitcoin's relative strength index suggests it is oversold, a definitive rebound has yet to occur. Investors have shown growing concern as market conditions continue to worsen, with fears that Bitcoin could continue its downward trajectory, possibly testing the 80,000 support level. The uncertainty in the market is compounded by the broader economic environment, which remains unsettled due to rising tensions on Trump economic policy. The decision to impose tariffs is seen as a part of a broader strategy to address the drug crisis, but has also contributed to the increased financial volatility. The situation is further complicated by a major security breach in the cryptocurrency space, where a hack on Bybit resulted in 1.4 billion losses, further diminishing investor confidence. These factors, along with Trump tariff plans, have created a perfect storm for the market instability, leaving many investors on the edge as they wait to see how the situation will unfold. Crypto market outlook amid volatility. While Bitcoin price facing a challenging period, analysts have been cautious in their predictions for cryptocurrency's near future. Some experts speculate that Bitcoin may test the $80,000 mark in coming days if the current downturn continues. Current days? How about right now? The market's extreme fear, as indicated by Crypto Fear and Greed Index, suggests that the many investors are already looking for exit opportunities with significant withdrawals from Bitcoin ETFs, further stressing the market. However, with the Bitcoin hash price period in this time in its lows, the BTC price dip may be nearing its end despite the tariffs. The broader market has also seen significant capital outflows, with similar investors leading the charge. In total, Bitcoin ETFs have experienced 6 consecutive days of withdrawals, totaling $2.1 billion. As liquidity continues to dry up, analysts are questioning whether Bitcoin can find new support or if the further corrections are inevitable. The volatility continues to be a significant concern for investors who remain uncertain about the direction of cryptocurrency market in the coming weeks. Yeah, we're all a little bit nervous with these few days of downturn in a row, which we are not used to in the crypto market. Now, if crypto is anything like the traditional financial market, well, the traditional financial market always goes up. It's going to go down one day, it's going to go up the next day. But if you look over a historical pattern, it is always going up throughout history. So, this goes back to the HODL strategy. In fact, I'm going to buy the dip a little later now that I'm seeing that things have gone right down to 80K. I'm definitely going to hop on that after the show and put a few more bucks into it. And having said that, it's already back up to 80,500, but still 80 grand, a far cry from earlier today at 85. I thought it was already going to be rebounding, but back we are. And with these Trump tariffs to take effect March 4th, that's 5 days away. We might still have some downward pressure on this. If we go back to our chart and kind of flip into, let's zoom into this head and shoulders on tradingview.com, this is the support level right here that needs to be executed at 77,000. If we don't meet that, here's one level here, 80,000, exactly where we're at right now. 80,700 basically is a support line. If we don't meet that, then we're going to flip all the way down to potentially this mark here, 76,000, 77,000. I'm hopeful that this really does complete the head and shoulders pattern here, and as we've seen in the past, as we see here, for example, and if we go way back, let's go way back, we've got a similar, it's not all lost. Here we have a small head and shoulders pattern in the 2020 halving before the parabolic climb here. Also, I'm hoping we're not in this situation here, right? Which is the first peak in the double peaks of the last Bitcoin halving. So this mark here is mid-April. It looks like April 17th, 2021. At which time the head and shoulders pattern started to, that was the peak, the first peak at 62,000. And then the price, went down. Then the people that waited it out, or the people that bought the dip down here, the price went up back again to the total cycle peak of October of 2021. So when getting back into our current chart, I've yet to see this big parabolic climb, and I hope we're still going to see it. I really personally feel that we are still right around this area. Let's hope I'm right, and because from this spot here, you see that's December, and if we get to this point here, we are then into mid-February, right around this, if we're going to follow the historical chart. So here we go. March 1st is right where the pointing finger, index finger, is pointing right here. So let's hope that it's just a little blip and we're going to see a lot more upside, followed by potentially a mid-cycle dip, and then the ultimate cycle peak coming in later in the year. Every other Bitcoin halving has always peaked around then, around the November time. And here we have the cycle peak, November 13th. November 1st, 2013. The next cycle peak, December 2017. And then the last cycle peak, 2021, October of 2021. And then we're going to get into our current cycle. So I'm really hoping it's just a temporary downturn until things turn around again. There's so many bullish tenets in the crypto market right now. It's just a little unbelievable that things are in this downturn. It's certainly these tariffs. Everybody was expecting the U.S. government to say Bitcoin reserve, and instead they're saying tariffs. So I think a lot of people are freaked out. The states themselves are showing a lot more promise when it comes to a Bitcoin reserve. Now, we had 3 states already reject the Bitcoin statewide Reserve this past week as well, so more bad news for the biddy. But we do have Texas Bitcoin Reserve advances to the Senate for after committee approval. Texas Bitcoin Reserve, SB 21, has successfully passed the review stage within the Business and Commerce Committee. Following this approval, the legislation will now proceed to the Texas Senate for further consideration. The bill proposes the establishment of a state-managed strategic reserve positioning Texas among the growing number of U.S. states exploring Bitcoin as a financial asset. Now, if they get spooked by this downturn instead of encouraged by a low price where they can buy the dip, it will be very discouraging for me too, because as a savvy, and I would consider myself frugal investor, which doesn't mean cheap. It means I spend money when I need to, but I don't spend stupid money. So if Texas rejects it, especially in this downturn, if I were them, I'd be trying to push it through as fast as possible to be buying this dip. So Texas Bitcoin Reserve Bill clears committee, moves to Senate review. According to recent reports, the Texas Bitcoin Reserve Bill, SB 21, has passed the Business and Commerce Committee. This marks a crucial step in the legislative process, allowing the bill to advance to the Senate for review. The bill will create a state-managed Bitcoin reserve, a move that aligns with the increasing interest in Bitcoin adoption at the government level. The approval from the committee signifies growing support for the proposal, which could enable Texas to establish a Bitcoin reserve. This development places Texas alongside other states considering similar measures to integrate Bitcoin into their financial strategies. If the Senate approves the bill, it could set a precedent for how state governments manage digital assets. With the committee stage completed, the next phase involves a Senate review. The outcome of this decision will determine whether the bill progresses further in the legislative process. Despite this development, Bitcoin adoption has faced challenges due to regulatory uncertainties and concerns over volatility. South Dakota lawmakers blocked HB 1202, halting the state's plan to invest in Bitcoin for now. However, interest in Bitcoin Reserve remains strong, with other states exploring similar proposals. Objectives of the Bitcoin Reserve Bill. Supporters of the bill believe that incorporating Bitcoin to the state reserves could provide an alternative financial strategy. The bill's provisions focus on securing and managing Bitcoin reserves through regulated policies, ensuring compliance with financial laws. The introduction of such reserve could mark a shift in how government approach digital assets. More so, Texas is not the only state considering Bitcoin as part of financial infrastructure. Other states have also introduced legislative efforts to explore the use of Bitcoin in government reserves. If Texas successfully implements the reserve bill, it'll encourage Bitcoin to adopt more states. Yeah, so the next step and challenge ahead for Texas, with the bill advancing to the Senate, the next phase of a decision will focus on its feasibility and potential effects. Lawmakers will assess various factors, including financial security, regulatory compliance, and the long-term sustainability of a Bitcoin reserve. If approved by the Senate, the bill could progress to further legislative stages before becoming law. The decision will determine whether Texas proceeds with the creation of a state-managed Bitcoin reserve, and I hope they do. However, despite the Texas Bitcoin Reserve Bill passing the committee stage, several other states have faced setbacks in their efforts for Bitcoin adoption. In recent weeks, lawmakers in Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wyoming have rejected proposals for state-controlled Bitcoin reserves. Despite these challenges, some states remain optimistic about the potential of Bitcoin reserves. Ohio recently introduced the proposals in both the House and Senate, while Oklahoma's Strategic Bitcoin Reserve Act passed a state committee earlier this week. So let's also remember that the SEC rejected the Bitcoin ETFs a whole bunch of times. For about 10 years, they were rejecting it. And finally, they came into fruition only pretty much exactly a year and a month ago. So about, we'll call it 400 days in existence. And before that, they were rejected for about 3,000 days. So let's hope that Texas is the first of the states, and let's see how witty they are in the end. I feel like it's a great time for them to push it through fast and start buying the dip. Personally, they've already let the price run up to this high amount. They could have been in this years ago, and they weren't. So at 80K, almost seems like a value at this point. Now, our friend Cryptoquant, the CEO of Cryptoquant, explains why the Bitcoin run is not quite over yet. Falling prices have sent shockwaves around the cryptoverse, but analysts argue the Bitcoin bull run is far amid frantic accumulation sprees. As price continues to falter, speculation of the Bitcoin bull run coming to an end has gathered steam. However, Cryptoquant CEO Ki-Young-Ju argues that claims of a bear market are unlikely given controlled current conditions, projecting a future price spurt. And this is almost exactly what happened in 2021, that halving cycle, as I've already pulled up the charts a couple times here, and we see that, everybody, buy Bitcoin, price spikes. Oh my God, something's happening, sell, right? So, here's the head and shoulder pattern that I'm hoping we're not replicating here, but it certainly does appear that we are. And the smart people are accumulating here when things are going sideways, as things were going sideways also here, accumulating, the price pumps, and maybe it's that people started selling. I mean, this is quite the red candle arrangement we've got here. If we zoom in a bit, lots of red down here, so it very well might be kind of a head and shoulders pattern. Now, we also saw a similar type pattern here, and we never quite did dip back to the 50,000. It kind of stayed up and found support right around here, and that's happened multiple times until we got finally up to our higher price levels in this 80 to 110,000 bucks. So we shall see what happens over the next little while. I'm hoping our comparison historically is to this little blip here and not the larger bull run that happened kind of in April. So, Cryptoquant CEO certainly knows a lot more than me. They own an entire company here. So let's keep reading on. Predicting the longest Bitcoin bull run in history. Yeah, I mean, this might be more like it instead of the previous, about 1.5 year 4-year cycles, but 1.5 year bull run approximately. Ki-Young-Ju in an next post theorized that Bitcoin will see an extensive price rally that could last till 2025. Currently, on-chain indicators are straddling the bull-bear boundary, but Ju says a Bitcoin bull run is more than likely. The Cryptoquant CEO hinges his claims on Bitcoin's historic 2-year cycles, arguing that April 2025 is a tentative end date. If his predictions are correct, the asset, the top cryptocurrency will record the longest Bitcoin bull run in history, sending prices to new highs. I expect this to be the longest bull run in history, but I could be wrong, said Ju. While the telltale signs of a Bitcoin bull run are sparse, Ju says that the next month will provide confirmation for market direction. Ju argues that a key metric to watch for is asset demand in the wake of institutional outflows from exchange-traded funds, ETFs. A worst-case scenario will be the 77K mark. According to Ju, BTC's recent decline will not see it slip below 77,000, with the worst-case scenario being a long-term consolidation at that level. Bitcoin currently trades at 85,000, that was this morning, losing 20% in a week, marred by impending tariff wars and other black swan events. Even in the worst case, I see a high probability of consolidating around 77,000 for a few months before moving back up, said Ju. Ju ended his predictions with a warning against leverage directional bets, urging traders to approach with caution. I keep saying the same thing. Do not trade on margin. Robert Kiyosaki buys BTC amid price slump. Now we're talking. Rich Dad Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki has confirmed his intention to continue stacking in the wake of BTC price dip. Kiyosaki expressed a lack of faith in the traditional monetary system while poking holes in the U.S. bonds and its debt profile. The author described fiat as fake money while hinting at a resurgence for a Bitcoin bull run in the future. I'll trade fake money for gold, silver, and Bitcoin anytime they go on sale, said Kiyosaki. Yeah, baby. So this is the operative word. Anytime they go on sale. So I've said this before, and I truly mean this with conviction. Buying something where the price goes down is getting something on sale. So when something's on sale, you know, you need a new bed, or you need some furniture, or you need some new electronics, and you see that things are on sale, you flock to the store. Sometimes, you know, when we're talking Boxing Day or Black Friday, there's lines in the middle of frickin' winter. 100 people deep, 500 people deep at 6 a.m. I trust me, I did it once. And I was like, what the fuck are all these headlights doing at 6 in the morning? You know where they were going? They were all going to bloody Best Buy. And when I got there, I thought I was getting there early. No, the lineup was 500 feet. Like, it was just unbelievable. So running in for a sale at Best Buy, but when your financial security, or your Bitcoin in this case, go on sale, everybody's running the other way. I'm not touching it. So think about how much sense that makes. I'm still going to buy the dip, even though when I started the show, it's up $1,000 since then. It's not as if I'm going to buy much anyway, so it doesn't make that much of a difference. But already we're seeing Bitcoin up $1,000 from when I first started the show. So up, the ask is up 81,100, 200 right now. So, you know, it's bouncing. It's holding this $80,000 resistance point. And let's hope by tomorrow things really go up quite a bit and we don't have to mess with this $80,000 zone. Remember, the tariffs supposedly are going to be taking effect March 4th. So that's something, one of the keys we definitely need to look at. But let's hope things bounce and get back up to the 85 zone and we don't have to test that 77,000 to complete that head and shoulders, although it may be inevitable that we do hit those prices, which is not far from the current, 81,000. We already dipped below 80K to 79, but right when it went to 79, people jumped in, bought the dip, found support at that level, and the price is already up, a little bit since that time. So, hopefully this information has helped you guys a little bit. I'd like to ask everybody to like and subscribe. I am in an attempt to get to over 500 subscribers this year, and it's going to happen, and I'd love for you to join me on that ride. And also remember, everyone, that money is abundant and money's everywhere. It is time that's scarce, so spend your time wisely. Spend your money wisely. Spend less money than what you earn. If you start to make more money, save more money. Don't spend more money, and start saving today when you're young. If you start saving in your teens or in your 20s, by the time you're 40, you hopefully can retire. If you've got a great idea, start that great idea today. Don't wait for tomorrow. Even if you're not ready, start today, and things will slowly work out and come together for you. Again, hopefully you found the stream enjoyable. Please share, like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you on the next stream, folks. Thanks for joining.